Oh shoot, I gotta change this. I forgot. Even the odds on. Hey, even the odds, bro. Yo, you ready for another one, fam?
Let's do it, son, because we I think we had a good week last week.
We had a really good week last week, man. Give a round of applause for y'all, for us and anybody who was sitting here and winning some of this money, bro. And I was just talking to Corey about it before we got on here. That 5.5 spread is undefeated, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man.
It's a mystical number. The number has some magical powers, especially when you attach it to a road underdog. We've seen just in the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last 7 days alone, 5 whatever days. What have we seen? The 2 worst teams in the league, the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers, as 5.5 point road dogs. Carolina couldn't get the victory, but New England covered the spread and won. And I do believe we have a 5.5 out there today. Yeah, we're going back with the Carolina Panthers, 5.5 point road dog. So yeah, that number has magical powers. Hey, it might get to the point to where, you know what, your NFL Sundays could just be like find the 5.5, and you know what I'm saying, load up on that and let that be your only wager.
Bro, that shit, I mean, I can't curse, my bad. But yeah, that thing's like clockwork, bro. And I've been paying attention to it ever since you've been saying it. And I'm like, yo, it's hitting. And I'm just like, fam, that's the money maker right there, bro.
That's that road 5.5, that magical number. So hopefully we can get some more wins today. Also, I had a couple people hit me up to talk about some new bettors have explain some of the terminology and stuff like that. If you got any questions, you know what I'm saying? Just me and Dub, you can throw stuff in the chat, you know what I mean? We've been more than happy to accommodate you the best way that we can.
That's a fact. The lingo of I always forget, like the lingo that's normal to me is not normal to everyone else. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like it's crazy to me. Speaking of the Saints and Panthers game, since we're already on that, do you have any player props that you think we could favor in right there?
Saints and Panthers player props, not really. I want to see what the deal is with Chris Olave. I think that he can be a guy, obviously, when you look at his reception numbers. It looks like Derek Carr is going to be available this week and play. We're not going to get the Jameis Winston experience, which I kind of was looking forward to the Jameis Winston experience, but it doesn't look like it's going to take place this week because it looks like Derek Carr is going to get out there. This is a New Orleans Saints team that just god awful. I believe they've been favorites 10 times this year. They're 1-8 ATS as favorites. So listen, they got a lot of listen. You're going against Carolina, who hasn't won a road game all year, but New Orleans is just not this team that we think. This NFC South is a terrible division. Do got a big matchup in the NFC South with Atlanta and Tampa. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But here's a spot where New Orleans can kind of climb back into the division race. So I would look at some what's my man name? I just said his name. Chris Olave. On the Panther side, I'm still kind of waiting for Jonathan Mingo to get rolling. It seems like he's starting to get a little bit more targets because Adam Thielen just fell off the face of the earth recently. But we really haven't seen that.
It's been a bad 2-game stretch.
Yeah, it has been. But it looks like we're starting to see, even look at the last game right here, last week versus Tampa, Mingo had 10 targets. He had 6 targets the week before that. So his targets are starting to go up. So his catches and his yards, Panther rookie wide receiver Jonathan Mingo is somebody that I expect to be a solid performer this weekend.
So he's sitting at 3.5 right now.
Yeah, I would take the over on 3.5 receptions for Jonathan Mingo.
So he hit it 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. That's tough for me, mainly because
that Saints secondary is scary.
The Saints secondary is scary. At the same time, like guys can go through spurts like this where a couple games haven't been too good for them in terms of Adam Thielen right now. So, I mean, he's sitting at 5.5 receptions right now. Adam Thielen.
I would not play Adam Thielen. Yeah.
At all?
He is regressing. I mean, Adam Thielen is not a young guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's get to the point in the season where Thielen's numbers are starting to drop. He did get a lot of the work earlier. And now also you got to understand, we got new people in Carolina too, as far as, play calling and stuff like that with my man, well, not my man, with Frank Reich out the picture now. Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? We've seen the targets go down. We've seen the receptions go down the last 2 weeks. So really, as we see the rise of Mingo, we're starting to see decline on Thielen.
I'm going to leave this one to you then. I'm going to leave this one to you because this isn't even a big game now. I'm going to say.
No, it's not. This is it. Yeah. But we do got that road 5.5 right here. So Carolina Panthers plus 5.5 and sprinkle the money line.
Got you. How do you feel about the Rams versus the Ravens game that's going on? The
Yeah.
first game that they're going to be playing.
This is one of the more interesting games of the week, you know what I'm saying? And when you look at it right here, to me, we're playing a numbers game with this game right here. So this Rams sitting at 7.5, the Rams getting the 7.5 in the hook, to me is very good number. But whenever I see a home team laying a hook, to me, they're begging you to take the road team. And that's what I feel like is going on with this point spread right here with the Rams as 7-point road underdogs. Now, with that being said, if this number comes down to 7, I'm firing on the Rams. We know what Baltimore is. Baltimore is one of the best teams in the league. Baltimore could end up playing in the Super Bowl, or Baltimore can have a lapse in the first round and be out the playoffs, which would really start to hurt Lamar Jackson. Baltimore lets teams hang around. Baltimore makes a lot of mistakes. So I would go ahead and listen, if it comes down to 7, I take the 7 with the Rams. Now, the Rams have won 3 straight games. When the Rams are healthy and whole, when they have Kupp and Nakua and Stafford, they can play. You know what I'm saying? When you go into their bench, that's when you see that the Rams suck. But when their starters are out there, they still can get the job done. We know how great Baltimore is, but we also know how helter-skelter Baltimore can be. I don't think if I was going to do a money line parlay, I wouldn't mind throwing the Ravens money line in the parlay, but I'm betting the spread, and I think the proper bet would be to take 7. If that number comes to 7, I'm unloading on the Rams.
Yeah, I was thinking that some of these receptions for some of these wide receivers. Cooper Kupp has been a guy that's just been severely, now I believe that he's hurt, but he's been severely underperforming in terms of what he thought he could be. And Puka's over here taking a lion's share of those targets. Right now, Puka and Cooper Kupp is sitting at 4.5 receptions right now. I kind of like that number for either or. You just got to figure out which one. I think this one will probably be Puka. I think Puka's probably going to be the guy to hit this one.
I would go with Puka as well. That's kind of the really only prop that I would want to get in with this Ram team right now is the props on the wide receivers. Obviously, that running game doesn't do too much for me. Now, when we come back on the other side, it looks like Rashad Bateman is starting to step up. We're starting to see Zay Flowers. Now, listen, obviously, Zay Flowers is a rookie. And we know that this time of year, when we get into past Thanksgiving, rookies tend to hit the wall. So I would start betting the unders on Zay Flowers, particularly his yardage. And I would start looking at Rashad Bateman, as a guy where I would want to bet the overs on his catches and his receptions. Isaiah Likely, with Mark Andrews out, is decent way to look at it. The problem is with Likely, sometimes he doesn't really get involved in the game plan. So I would go under on Flowers with him hitting that rookie wall. And I think Bateman is starting to become somebody that Jackson is looking for more right now.
Well, Bateman's sitting at 19.5 yards right now, right?
Yeah.
So right now, he hit that last week. He only had 10 against the Bengals, but he hit that against the Browns. He hit that against the Hawks. He hit that against Arizona. He hit that against Detroit. So he's been hitting that in every single game besides the Bengals game.
Yeah.
So in my head, 19 yards is way too low for a receiver like him to be grabbing. So I think, especially with Mark Andrews out, I kind of like the 19.5 yards.
Yeah.
What's it called? You said Zay Flowers. My whole thing is with the Ravens offense is something that I'm definitely staying away from, and probably would lean more towards under, but I don't like betting unders. I just hate betting unders. I don't like doing it.
It's not under till it's over.
Yeah, exactly. So Zay Flowers, the Ravens offense right now, the way they struggled against the Chargers, I'm not believing in this offense like that until I see it. So I'm definitely staying away from a lot of those players. I'll probably look more into their rushing units and what they can do rushing the ball.
Now let's talk rushing, because the Rams are pretty decent at stopping the run, but they're very decent at stopping the quarterback from running the football. So Lamar Jackson, rushing yards 46.5. I kind of feel a couple of ways about it, right? I would lean towards the under, but if this becomes a game where the Rams are very competitive, then I think we could see some hero ball Lamar. And if a hero ball Lamar is going to go over that 40, 46 and a half. But I think the Rams are going to be a tough test this weekend.
Yeah, I would probably play it safe and just look at some other guys to just
There you
boost it.
go.
So I think like Keaton Mitchell, like 25 yards is minus 300. Pair that up with Rashad Bateman over on 19 and a half. I kind of like that in terms of who, and then I'll probably put Puka. I'm putting Puka for not 5 receptions, but I'll put Puka for 4 or 3 receptions. You know what? Let me see the 3 receptions right now. Puka receptions is sitting at minus 900 for 3. Nah, I'm going with 4.
No, yeah. You can't.
I'm
You're
going
not gonna
for
get
4.
nothing on for that.
Exactly. I'll do the 4. I'll do those 3 right there. And I think you should get some pretty good numbers on that one right there. And how about Matthew Stafford? How you feeling about his passing? Because he's only sitting at 203.5.
Yeah, and that's a low number considering that we do like the player or do like the Rams this week. I worry about Stafford outdoors against that physical defense. The thing with Stafford with me is kind of like, is he going to finish the game? You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't mind Stafford. It probably wouldn't make my ticket, but I would go over on Stafford. His passing number.
His passing numbers, because I'm looking at it right now. Even with the Browns, not the Browns, the Bengals were almost able to get that, even with their quarterback being hurt and going through a change. Deshaun Watson was able to get that, and I don't hate their offense. And then we're gonna look at Geno Smith wasn't able to do that though.
No, and this is Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And you're going on the road to Baltimore. Like I said, if I had to wager it, it would be the over. But you know, when you look at Baltimore, and when it comes to against this prop, this is not something that really cashes against Baltimore, even at this low number right here of 199 and a half. And I'm seeing that 199 and a half. And he's going over this a lot, but
I don't believe in that
115, it's a lot. It's Like I said, here's the thing. Like I said, we got to set our fantasy lineups. We don't have to place these wagers.
Okay, I got you. Let's see what else we got. My bad, I got a text right here. Oh, we got you said what?
It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I could be getting messages too. I just had somebody, hit my food. I had to make my food order just now.
I see you, bro. But right now we also have the Bengals and the Colts. And I think right now the Bengals have actually been very, very surprising. They kind of messed us up. That was one of our ones that we were wrong on. The Titans winning, but it was a very close game. But shout out to Gardner Minshew, and we talked about the connection between him and Michael Pitt. Them going against his Bengals unit. I don't know, bro. How you feel about this?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on an island on this one right here because I'm going back to Indianapolis, but we are seeing some sharp action coming on the Cincinnati Bengals. As a matter of fact, that number opened up at 1. We got 2s in most spots. FanDuel is still sitting 1.5. They're headed to 2. ESPN Bet is already at 2.5. Let's pause down right quick for a second. I know ESPN Bet is is getting real popular in the space right now. But just a word, in most places when you do your parlays, if one leg pushes, like say you got a -6 on your parlay, the rest of the parlay cashes, that drops off. At ESPN Bet, the parlay voids and you get your money back. You don't get the win. So keep that in consideration when you're wagering on ESPN Bet. With that being said, I like the Colts here. I just worry about this money steaming in on the Cincinnati Bengals. So it probably won't be no wager for me, but it looks like you're right. It looks like the Bengals is the side.
Yeah, the Bengals may be the side. I'm going to look more towards these player props for these games, and mainly from
Michael Pittman. Start there.
Michael
you know
Pittman
what I'm saying?
Is insane.
It's crazy.
He's cashing in. He's sitting at 6.5 receptions right now. I like going a little bit under the 7 that they'll give us. So I'll put him at 6. Bro, like we said before, the connection between him and Gardner Minshew, it's just automatic at this point.
No, and what's so great about it is Minshew is not the type of guy that's going to come into the game and dink and dunk and drop the ball off to the running back or throw a little 6-yard pass here, a 3-yard pass there. Minshew is that thing's out. You know what I'm saying? He don't got no fear, no cares. Michael Pittman is the alpha wide receiver on that team, and he's getting it done every week. He's getting 6-7 receptions. He's going over 100 yards. And Michael Pittman has been phenomenal this season. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? I hate to sound like I'm sacking Michael Pittman because I'm not, pause, but Michael Pittman's getting it done.
Stacking is insane.
This is a no sack zone. You know what I mean?
I hear you. How you feel about Alec Pierce and his yards right now? He's
Yeah.
sitting at 27.5. Me personally, I will probably go more towards, let me see, 25 yards. That's at minus 136, mainly because he's been hitting that consistently for the majority of the season. So above 25 yards, I'm kind of liking that versus this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting on that as well. You know what I'm saying? Particularly when you look at the last 4 games they have played in. Alec Pierce is he has a good matchup this week. He's only played the last 3 in the last month, 3 games, going over that number once. But a terrific matchup this week against a Bengals back end that doesn't really stop it. So I even think you can get involved with some Josh Downs this week.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, his receptions are sitting very low actually. Because that minus 2.5 is at plus 136, which I think is good for him because he's been getting 3 receptions for a good portion of the season. I'll bring him down to 2 because that's minus 200 right there. Put him down to 2 receptions, 25 yards. I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind getting behind Alec Pierce. I just, sometime with these props, right? Like you got to be very careful. Like for example, let's just take last night. I spent the whole night looking at Grand Theft Alvarado's 3-pointers, right? It was over 0.5. And I'm like, when the number's that low, it's because son could disappear. You know what I'm saying? And of course, he comes into the game and immediately splashes a 3-pointer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, Jesus Christ. But with that being said, when those numbers are low like that, be careful. But I think this is a game right here where you're going to see some in the air, especially if Jake Browning and the Bengals can fight back. I think we see this could be a shootout right here.
I think it's probably going to be more offensive than a lot of people would think. Joe Mixon sitting at 61.5 at the over right now. Like I said, I like lowering it. I think he's going to be locked for 50 yards.
Rushing, Joe Mixon?
50 yards rushing because at the end of the day, they gave him 19 carries last game. Without Joe Burrow, they're going to keep giving him carries because that's going to be the focal point of the offense. They're going to keep rushing the ball with him in my head.
Yeah, that was one of the problems with the Bengals to start the season. They just stopped running the football. And I'm like, why they don't run the football no more? But what you've seen these past couple of weeks, them start to get Joe Mixon involved more, and that's a good thing for this. I don't know what it is, though, why all of this action is hitting the Bengals right now. Because I'm looking at the injury report, and the injury report looks the same. But we're starting to see a lot of sharp wagering coming on the Bengals. I mean, it's a team that's won 1 game of their last 4. So I'm like, this is interesting right here. But apparently people are getting behind the Bengals this week. So I'm not going to get in front of it, but I don't think I'm going to back it.
How you feel about Jamar Chase's receptions?
That's always a play. You know what I'm saying? We know Chase came into the season as the favorite to win the Offensive Player of the Year. Obviously, the year didn't go the way they expected with Joe Burrow being, in and off the injury report. With that being said, he's still one of the most talented wide receivers. When a dude's is like that, right, Dub? I'm never just going to bet. I'm never going to play the under or bet against him because it's you just make a silly. You can kick yourself in the ass. You'd be like, why did I fade Jamar Chase? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So yeah, my thing with Jamar is I seen a lot of screens that they were setting against the Jaguars game because of Jake Browning. So I think his reception is at 5.5 right now, which I think is very low for him. But what I would probably lean more towards is probably his receptions is sitting at 4 receptions is minus 800, and 5 is like he only hit 5 2 times in the last 5 games. Now I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm not gonna lie. You got to stay away from that. I'm not gambling on that one. But all right, let's see what other games we got here. Which game you want to talk about real quick?
Let's get to one of the marquee matchups of the week: Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns. Big time game in the AFC. Obviously, both teams fighting. It looks like Trevor Lawrence is going to give it a go. I did not see the practice report today, but I think they were going to try to get Trevor Lawrence to practice today, dealing with that high ankle sprain. He's trying to gut it out. What we do know, Trevor Lawrence has been phenomenal in his career on the road, particularly as a road underdog, and that's the spot that he's in this week. So I like the Jacksonville Jaguars to get I would take the 3. DraftKings has already moved down to 2.5. Matter of fact, Circa's at 2. ESPN bet is still sitting at 3. I would take the 3 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I would sprinkle the money line as well. I think Jacksonville can win the game outright. I'm a fan of Jacksonville as a road team. Now, Cleveland has been very good at home this year. This is a tough spot, but I'll take the underdog right here. I think it's going to be a close game. I'll take the underdog. As far as player props go, people have been able to run the ball against the Browns recently, but ETN is banged up as well. Calvin Ridley is starting to pick it up. So I think Ridley's a good play if you want to look at some of his stats. And on the Cleveland side, I got Jerome Ford in too many best balls that I need him to come through in to really be wagering on his props, because I feel like I lose twice if he doesn't have a good game. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like Jacksonville a lot in this spot right here, despite what Cleveland has got going on at home this year.
I got you. I want to talk about the Bears and Lions game.
Yes.
Now it's going to be a very windy game. That's what the reports are saying. So with that, I'm upset that Khalil Herbert isn't popping up for me, because I definitely would have played some Khalil Herbert yards in this game. But
yeah. Go ahead.
It's kind of crazy to have Justin Fields above 60 and a half. I'll probably just go more towards the receptions for DJ Moore, even though it is windy. At the end of the day, they're going to be looking for more short yardage. That's really their security blanket right there in DJ Moore. He's at 5.5 at plus 112. It's put him for 5 receptions. The connection between him and Justin Fields is just, it's a match made in heaven.
It's been going down so far this year, and I tell you how much I like it. I'm actually going to take the 3.5 with the Chicago Bears, and I'm going to the window with this one. It's one of my plays of the week. I think Chicago's in a very good spot in this game right here, catching 3.5. There are a divisional home dog. I'm always going to get behind a divisional home dog. So you got 3.5s out there. The number's already moved to 3 in some spots. I think the Bears are, matter of fact, the Bears just outplayed them in Detroit a couple of weeks ago. But Goff threw all those interceptions. You know what I'm saying? But now you get Goff going outdoors in the division. Oh, man, this is a smash spot for the Chicago Bears right here. As far as the 3.5 goes, can the Lions beat the Lions and win the game? Yes, but I like the Chicago Bears getting the points right here. And it's the Bears running game, and it's DJ Moore. And when you look at the Lions, just keep going. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta.
I hear you. Also, you have Jahmyr Gibbs right now, and he's sitting at 38.5 rushing yards, which I think is very, very low for him. He's been hitting that for the majority of the season all year round. I would probably, like I said, I like playing it more on the safe side. I'll probably put him for 30 yards if the option is there. But 38.5, I'm not going to lie, bro. I think that's just too easy to pass up in a game where I think they will be primarily rushing the ball because of the win.
Yeah, and listen, he's been going over this number a lot. Now the Bears' strength is their defensive front, but a player like Gibbs is extremely talented. And listen, so is David Montgomery, but it looks like Gibbs is really taking over in the offense right now. His rushing receiving could be the play as well. His rushing and receiving number, just to give yourself that safety valve right there. If that rushing don't hit, he'll definitely get some yardage in the passing game.
All right, fam, let's go. I do not want to bet on the 49ers and Seahawks game. Bro.
No, it's nothing really much to see there. But divisional dog, if anything. But the way San Francisco is looking right now, it's hard to get behind that. Let me see. Did we talk Tampa, Atlanta?
No, not Tampa and Atlanta yet. Nope.
Another interesting one right here. This number's been bouncing back and forth today. And it actually got down to Tampa +1 at one point. And now we're seeing it kind of jump back up, got 2s and 2.5s out there. Tampa is undefeated against the spread on the road this year. Atlanta has been tougher at home than they are on the road. Tampa is not a good football team, but Atlanta, they can go either way. This is going to be a 3-point game. So Tampa, if you buy the hook, Tampa at +3.5 is probably my favorite wager right here. But Doug, Mike, Evans. You got to go to Mike Evans every week. Son is on fire right now. Mike Evans is playing. He's having an amazing season. And I think, when you start your wagering on Sunday mornings and you start to place your wagers and make your tickets, one of the first people you should be going to is Mike Evans.
Yeah, his receptions are sitting at 5.5 right now. He's hit that in 4 of the last 5 games. 3 of the last 5 games he's been on.
What's his yardage?
Yardage is sitting at 76.5.
Yeah,
which
he can go over that. And anytime touchdown scorer as well. But that might be minus 200 for him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. 76.5 a little bit too high for me.
Okay.
I think it's a bit too high. I'll probably shorten it. And even the receptions, I'll probably shorten it to 5 or 4 because that's something that he's definitely been keying in on. But I don't know, it's something 76 yards against the Falcons crew where they got AJ Terrell over there, man.
Yeah, and AJ Terrell is questionable coming into this week. So Jeff Okuda,
Oh, okay.
So Mike Hughes, Jeff Okuda, and AJ Terrell are all questionable. Now, if they go, I can see you saying, okay, I'm gonna lay off. If those dudes is out,
yeah, I would, and I agree.
Yeah.
If they're out,
he can go
pay
crazy.
attention. Yeah, pay attention to this one. If they're out, you can smash on him.
Yeah,
but I mean, those
are 2 first-round cornerbacks, Okuda and Terrell. So their back end of their defense is their strength, and they can't run the football. This guy, Rashard White, though, he gets a lot of usage. It's not really effective, but it's a lot, and sometimes volume trumps efficiency.
I hear you. Just a player I do want to mention. Not really too deep into the game. If you want to, go ahead. But a guy that I think is going to get a lot of burn this year against the Texans crew is Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson is due for a really good game this week. He's sitting at 57.5. I'll probably shorten him to 50. I definitely think he's going to be able to get 50 yards. And he's sitting at 4.5 receptions right now. I think
that's one thing about Zach Wilson. He does get the ball to Garrett Wilson. So Zach Wilson will target and get the ball to Garrett Wilson. I don't like nothing about the point spread in this game, Dub, but I will tell you this, Devin Singletary. That's the play. Devin Singletary rushing yards over. That's the play this week. And that's the play in this game. Anything else in this game, don't even watch it. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the box score and be like, okay, he got the over.
Devin Singletary, 33.5?
Yeah.
Let me see if he's been hitting that. And what makes you say that?
Because the Jets run defense is pathetic. You can run the football against the Jets. And Singletary, ever since your man Bernard Pierce got hurt earlier. So really what you want to do, you want to look at his last 2 or 3 weeks rushing props for Mr. Singletary. You know what I'm saying? And he has run the ball better than Pierce, and you're starting to see it take place and shape up when you look at the box score. He's starting to get the carries now. So 37.5 on the season, he's 5-4. But if you look at the last, you look at the last 4 weeks, he is 3-1 going over that number, and the Jets are the perfect team he can go over that number against. So I would go over 33.5 for Singletary. And his attempts, I'm curious to see what his attempts are.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Link to his attempts.
Yeah, that's the issue with me. I don't see his attempts here either. But that's the issue with me. With Dameon Pierce being there, it eats into the production of with Dameon Pierce being there, eats into
I said Bernard Pierce, I mean Dameon Pierce, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I heard you.
Yeah. Bernard Pierce's son that tore Tom Brady ACL.
Yeah. But Devin Singletary, so the 33.5 is a bit scary because I'm a little bit worried of the carry attempts. I think Dameon Pierce would probably be the safer one because regardless, for some reason, they keep feeding him. I think they still believe in feeding him. When he come back, they move the role in order to feed him. So me personally, he's sitting at 39.5. If you want, I'll probably put him at 25. I'll probably put him at 25. I can't put him at 30. But 25, if you want, you could put them because I think they both could hit 25.
Yeah, if you want to play both, I don't have no problem with that. I think this is a road game. No Tank Dell. Nico is probably going to get Sauce Gardner. So this is going to be Devin Singletary and Pierce show. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's get to the marquee matchups. Buffalo and Kansas City. To me, the game
I'm not gonna lie.
To me, the game is Kansas City's defense versus Buffalo's offense. And Kansas City's defense versus Buffalo's offense. And Kansas City's defense is better than Buffalo's offense, but I think this is a you gotta have it game for Buffalo. I think Buffalo's season on the line this week. I think Buffalo goes in there and gets the upset. I like the Buffalo Bills to go into Kansas City and win the game outright.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I agree. I think especially with how they played against the Eagles, carry on momentum to see what they can do. This is a game that it's a must-win game for the Buffalo Bills, and we know how they face each other. They take their games very seriously when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's always been a bad matchup for them. So this is a game that I'm not going to lie. If we're going to look for an upset this week, but the thing is, it's not really an upset.
Exactly.
We're sitting at minus 102. So it's like, dang, there's no plus odds at this. But I would say if they're going to have if they're going to win the game, it's going to be because of Josh Allen. So I will actually look for an anytime TD prop from Josh Allen.
Yeah, anytime touchdown from Josh Allen is definitely good right there because in a game like this, we're going to see hero ball Josh Allen. Listen, I've been very difficult on Josh Allen in the way he plays the game, the interceptions. Since he's entered the league and become a starting quarterback, nobody's thrown more interceptions. But what you see this season is really when they went to London and lost their two best defenders, Josh Allen's game has stepped up. And they need to win. They need to win more than Kansas City does. And Kansas City's offense has not been great this year. It's the truth of the matter. Say what you want to say about Kansas City and look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers and this, that, and the third. They are starting to feel the effects of not having Tyreek Hill. I'll say, well, it didn't happen last year. They won the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce had an historic year last year. Travis Kelce's not having that kind of season this year. The other pieces in the offense, they stink. No Isaiah Pacheco. He's been ruled out. This is a spot for the Buffalo Bills.
I'm not gonna lie.
As crazy as that sounds.
I know, and I do like that too. Also, I want to look into Dalton Kincaid.
Oh,
and his receptions because he's been a security blanket for a good portion of the second half of the season. So let's see where his receptions is at. It's at 4.5 right now. Bro, he's been hitting that 4.5 for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. I'll probably, like I said, I'll shorten it to 4.5, 4. I don't think you're losing any money in that way. And with that understanding that he's going to be able to get 4 or 5 receptions, he's sitting at 36.5 yards right now, something that he's been doing the same thing. So if he's going to get 4.5 receptions, he's going to get those 36.5 yards as well. Keep that in mind.
I think you see a good game from Allen and those pass catchers. Listen, they can attack the paint. They can get in the paint. When I say the paint, I mean when you rush the quarterback right up the middle. But Josh Allen is lethal on the perimeter. So I think this is going to be a spot for the Buffalo Bills, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, bro, this is insane. Well, let's get back to the bigger game.
Yeah, the marquee matchup. We've been waiting all week for Sunday night. We're going to disagree on this one.
Don't tell me you got the Cowboys.
That the road team laying a hook is always a telltale sign. If the point spread was 3, I would say Philadelphia. But when you see 3.5, what do you think everybody's going to do? They're going to take the Eagles. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'll lay the number with the Dallas Cowboys. I think it is a Dak Prescott game. I look at Dak Prescott rushing over. I look at Dak Prescott passing over. Now, the last time these two teams played, the Eagles' defensive line really got after Dak Prescott and harassed Dak Prescott, and Prescott was able to make plays with his legs and almost pull that game off. Now, your offensive line is going to play better at home than they do on the road. And the Cowboys' offensive line has been playing very well the past couple of weeks, but still, you know what Philadelphia can bring. The problem with Philadelphia this year or recently is you can run the ball on Philadelphia. We saw that happen last week, and in the games this year where they've kind of struggled to put teams away, it's because teams have been able to stay in the game by running the football. I think this is a spot for the Dallas Cowboys right here.
Yeah, whenever it's divisional games, I hate betting on divisional games. I don't like to do it. Especially a divisional game where we've already seen one team already defeat the other. So this one right here, I'm not too sure what to go on. I'm not too sure I've been on. As a fan, I think it's very hard to defeat a team 3 times in one season. So I would rather us take this L here That way, if we do see them in the postseason, we can win that. We could get that
Dub,
dub.
let me tell you something, Dub, listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
So this has happened, like, I believe, I got to look up the exact stat, but this has happened like 17 times, something like that, where teams have played each other 3 times. The team that won the 2 regular season games, it's like an urban legend that the team that loses is going to win. The team that wins the 2 regular season games has won 70% of the playoff games. So, you know, a matter of fact, I'm looking up the stat right now. Beating a team 3 times in a year in NFL. And I'm going to pull up the record right here. Let me see. Is it hard to beat a team 3 times in the season? Since the NFL merging, the sweeping team, so it's happened 21 times. The team that went 2-0 in the regular season, the team that went 2-0, the sweeping team has gone 14-7. So the team so in the 21 occasions this has happened, the team that won the 2 regular season games is 14-7. So it's kind of like this is something that has been looked at as an urban legend that you can't beat a team 3 times in the season, but really it's been quite easy to beat a team 3 times in the season. The problem is the team that tends to get caught on the back end of this is the Dallas Cowboys, a team that we watch all the time. So you get that thought process because it happened to the Cowboys against the Eagles and against the Giants. Obviously, they're the most popular team, so that is the reason why. I guess we lost Dub, but I'll go ahead and talk to you about myself because I can do that too. You know what I'm saying? So there it is right there. Now, as far as my favorite plays for this week, run through the NFL right quick. I like Tampa. I like Carolina. I like the Bears. I like the Jaguars. I like Buffalo. And I like Dallas. Broncos, Chargers, nothing to do with that one. And some of these other games, nothing to do with that one as well. See if we get Dub back up in here. Now, if you want to hop over and look at some NBA action for tonight, run through tonight's NBA slate right quick, and then I'll give you a little college football futures, and then we can hop on up out of here. Now, with that being said, I hope you cash that plus 550 on the Pacers to take Group A in the end-season tournament. So we brought that one home, gave you that one about a month ago when the tournament started. As far as the end-season tournament final game, I'm not going back after the Pacers. It looks like LeBron really wants to win this thing. But as far as NBA goes tonight, let me get a quick run through the slate of NBA games tonight. And Philadelphia and Atlanta, it looks like that number is starting to come in. I would take Philadelphia money line, put it in the parlay. As a matter of fact, I do have a parlay for the night. I'll share that with you guys in a little bit. Detroit and Orlando. Detroit is going to win a game at some point, so I don't like getting in front of teams like that. Charlotte and Toronto is an interesting matchup tonight. I probably won't wager this, but this is a basketball 5.5. I don't really know if I'm ready to start laying numbers with Toronto, even if they're going up against a bottom feeder like the Hornets. So I would take the Charlotte Hornets getting the 5.5 points tonight. As far as right quick, Orlando and the Pistons, always look at guys like Jalen Suggs if he plays tonight. His points, rebound, and assists. I like the 76ers tonight, even if Trae Young plays. That number has gone to 8.5, 9 at some spots. But I would take the Philadelphia 76ers, and I don't mind laying a big number with Philadelphia tonight because I think Philadelphia will take care of the Atlanta Hawks pretty easily. The Hawks not playing good, and I do believe Trae Young is expected to be out tonight. Really, right now, this is a good time. If you got some questions you want to ask, you can pop those in the comment section. I'll get to those in a second. Knicks and Celtics. I don't like, listen, the Knicks are not the type of team to get blown out in back-to-back games. And the Knicks have struggled in Boston this year. But I would take the 7.5 with the New York Knicks tonight. Brooklyn and Washington, this is an easy spot for Brooklyn. I don't even mind laying a 9.5 with Brooklyn. As always with Washington, whenever they play, you want to start at whenever they play, you want to start with Kyle Kuzma over 22.5. That's like a given. That's easy money. Thunder and Warriors. It looks like we're not going to have no Chris Paul. I do believe, let me check the injury report right quick. It looks like Chris Paul is going to be out. I do think we get Steph, though. Let me see. So Chris Paul and Gary Payton out. Oklahoma City Thunder have a full load. Matter of fact, Chris Paul's a game-time decision. Oklahoma City has a full load, a full squad. So I like Oklahoma City. They've beaten Golden State twice already this year. Golden State on the road in these type of environments, you do see Steph step up and go crazy. But I'm going to go with the Thunder right here to win the game. So a parlay I like tonight, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and Oklahoma City. You can put about 30 on it and win about 76 or bring home about 76. So it's not a great parlay. It's not going to make you rich, but it's not going to, you ain't going to go to bed with a loss tonight. Memphis and Minnesota. Minnesota's been playing excellent basketball this year, but the Grizzlies as a home dog is not really a spot that I like to get in front of the Grizzlies on when they are at a home as an underdog. So I would continue to roll out right there, and I would go with the Minnesota. But I would take the Grizzlies, but I would probably just leave it alone. Miami and Cleveland. Miami's really playing the skeleton squad tonight. No Bam. I think Jimmy is playing. Cleveland been better on the road than at home this year. Probably no bet for me, but if I had to go with somebody, I would take Cleveland. I think Donovan Mitchell can close the game. Bulls and Spurs, I'm not touching. Kings and Suns, you want a little late night West Coast action. I probably would take Phoenix coming off that loss, or both teams coming off the loss. Nuggets and Rockets. Houston's been terrible on the road this year. This is a big number for the Nuggets. I'd probably lay away. But that's kind of where I'm at on some of those NBA games tonight. Like I do say, that parlay right there for tonight. Sixers, Wizards, and Oklahoma City Thunder. Be like me. Get that wager going. Like I said, right now, I'm going to get out of here in a couple seconds. But if you got any questions, you can go ahead and throw those in the chat right there. Suns ain't winning. Is Kevin Durant out tonight? Because why would you be so certain that the Suns are not winning? You know what I'm saying? This game is in Phoenix, and Booker and Kevin Durant is out tonight. So, yeah, that's probably a good sign to lay off of the Phoenix Suns tonight. But you never know. They do got Booker, and Booker gets busy. This is these teams' first meeting of the season. But do they have any luck? Sacramento doesn't really go to Phoenix and win games, but I don't know. It's a close one to call right here. Even with no Durant, I probably would still take a look at the Phoenix Sun tonight, even with no Durant. If you go back over the course of, now listen, obviously you can't judge the Sacramento Kings over what they've been. You got to kind of look at the last two seasons, right? But last season, when these two teams met last season, let me see Sacramento and Phoenix last year. Obviously, Phoenix had some ups and downs with the injury situation last year. But Sacramento was 2-2 versus Phoenix last year. So nothing to see there. And you can't really get a good vibe out of that one right there. But I would probably take Phoenix because probably just a fade the public move for me right there. Let me jump on over here and look at the splits right quick. And I'll tell you what we got on the splits wise, because that can kind of help you if there's any sharp money. So you know what? It is the sharp money is on the Kings tonight. So there you go. As a matter of fact, before we get out of here, let you know where the sharp money is at tonight, because you do got a couple spots. You got some sharp money on the Pistons. I'm not ever touching Detroit. You got some sharp money on the Hawks. I can't fool with Atlanta. You do have sharp money on the Raptors. I mean, yeah, exactly. Boston, and just all the favorites tonight. So really no dice, nothing to really see here that anything really steps out. So there you go right there. But once again, thank everybody for rocking and rolling with us. Thank everybody for checking in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, W, back.
Yo, I am so sorry. My internet.
All good, son.
Crazy. But yo, what were you saying about the you said it was like clockwork about the teams that win 2 times in the regular season?
Yeah, so it's happened 21 times. The team that won the 2 games in the regular season is 14-7. So it's kind of like an urban legend that you can't beat a 3 times, when really the team that wins the 2 games normally win the 3rd game. Didn't we have that situation last year? I believe we had that situation last year.
Last year was the 49ers. And the
Seahawks
twice, yeah.
Yes.
But then in 2021, the 49ers defeated the Rams, but then the Rams defeated the 49ers in the postseason.
That is true, too. Correct. And what I was saying was, you saw that really, Dallas, out of those 7 losses, Dallas has been that team twice. Back in the day versus Philadelphia, and then that terrible year in 2007 against the New York Giants. You know what I'm saying?
That's but the Cowboys are the Cowboys,
And that's why people tend to think, you know what I'm saying? Because the Cowboys. That's the big brand. I gave them a parlay tonight for NBA. Nothing that's going to make you rich, but 76ers, Nets, and Thunder 3-team parlay.
76ers. Oh, whoa.
Money line. This is all money line stuff. So you're not going to get no big exotic number, but you can turn $50 into 100. You know what I'm saying?
So he says 76ers.
Yeah.
And what was the other team? Nets
and Thunder.
That's the 3 teams that's winning tonight.
Yeah.
Interesting. No Dallas Mavericks love?
Mavericks on the schedule tonight?
Mavericks, they're playing the Portland Trailblazers.
I don't like betting on Dallas. I really don't.
Why?
I just don't. I'm bad luck betting on Dallas.
No, so yeah, we keep Corey away from this. But I would look to put Dallas on that parlay as well. Maybe because what Dallas has been doing right now, Luka Doncic is playing at MVP level and going up against the Blazers unit where, I mean, they're still trying to find their identity, and Scoot Henderson is not working out the way that they thought.
Well, he's off to a slow start. You know what I'm saying? We don't hear Brandon Miller's name much either. You know what I'm saying? Really, the only rookie we hear about is Victor and Chet, and if you even consider Chet,
Brandon Miller. That's insane. Brandon Miller's been playing well though. Okay. Actually, Brandon Miller
because he's in Charlotte.
Exactly. Actually, though, Brandon Miller, I like Brandon Miller and what happens with him because a lot of his over-unders are very low. So I go to 10 points with him every single time, and he's always hitting 10 points. He's hitting 10 points more times than not. He's always sitting at 14, and usually when there's a 4-point difference, the 10 points is only minus 200. You pair that up with some other parlays. It just helps the odds, So I always look to consider that.
Trailblazers have been strong as a road dog this year, though.
They're home.
I mean, okay. Oh, really? That's interesting. So let me see. So let me see. As a home dog, they must be terrible at home, then.
They are a terrible team at home. I'm not gonna lie.
God almighty, they're 2-5. They're 2-5 ATS as home dogs. So yeah, the Mavericks do look like a play tonight.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. No, Corey, you can't say no. You're about to jinx the shit now.
Yeah, leave it alone. I'm out.
Don't jinx it, bro. I swear, if the Mavs lose tonight, it's gonna be Corey's fault. I swear it is.
Right quick, Boy Wonder in the chat. Indy and Cincinnati is really one of the more intriguing games this week. I actually like the Colts, but it's a ton of respected money coming in on the Bengals. So I'm not going to get in front of that. You know what I'm saying? When I say I'm not going to get in front of that, I probably wouldn't take Indy on the spread. This is a teaser spot for me. I'll probably tease Indy to 7.5.
One of the games that I'm really actually looking forward to tonight is going to be that Sacramento Kings game, man. I think that's
just talking about Kings and Suns. Go ahead, give me your thoughts, and I'll let you know what I. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking more so with mainly because the mismatch that they have down there with Nurkic. Sabonis is sitting at 17.5 right now. Now, Sabonis is a guy that's been, I'm going to be honest, he has been on a very good stretch of games for the last 10 games. Now, he did play bad against the Clippers. He did play bad against the Warriors. And he also didn't play up to par against the Nuggets. But against a team like the Suns, where their low post defense isn't strong, he's a big body that can get down there. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like his odds. He's at 17.5 right now. Put him for 15 points. He's going to be sitting at minus 260. I love that look a lot. I love it a lot.
So game-wise, it looks like it's a Sun spot. No Kevin Durant, and you see some sharp money coming in on the Kings. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the number is kind of bouncing around, right? Let me get a look at the number right now. So you do got some tools out there. So there are people that's showing the Sun some love. And listen, no Kevin Durant, but Booker can cook by himself. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. If there's anything I want in this game, I'll be honest with you. The reason why I'm not really looking at these games is because I normally be in the bed by the time the West Coast games come on. You know what I'm saying? I wake up very early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm in that 7 to 9, that start time. I'm real good in that window. Once you get me to those late games, you know what I'm saying? I really don't know those teams like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I do know them, but I'm like,
you're not paying attention to them.
Yeah, I like to watch the games, the teams that I wager on.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I will also look into, I actually like Malik Monk and Keegan Murray right now tonight against the Suns as well.
Keegan Murray over 2.5 threes.
Over 2.5 threes for him?
Yes.
Let me see how he's been hitting that so far. You just said you don't pay attention to those teams, and now you're going to give me bets?
I know Keegan Murray can hit that 3, though. Keegan Murray. I love that. Shout out to the Kings. Light the beam.
Shout out to the Kings. Light the beam for sure. I love you, Corey.
Light the beam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm not too sure about Keegan Murray. He's been through a stretch of games right now that hasn't been great for him. He hasn't been hitting that for a minute now.
Really? He slowed down, huh?
A very long minute. But I do like him as a guy that can just generate points against his Suns crew. 10 points for him is definitely going to be reasonable. So you got Sabonis at 15. You put Keegan Murray for 10. And you will also look for, if I could just change the over, I would definitely put Malik Monk. I'll put him over for 13 points as well. Malik Monk is actually somebody that I would actually look to do over 2.5 threes. And I think that's a nice little side.
You're right. That's a bad look. And the Suns do not play good 3-point defense. They're kind of in that 20th in the league in 3-point defense. So if you trust Monk or even Fox more, you know what I'm saying? But Fox is not really a 3-point shooter. He's a mid-range game guy. But Monk, that is his game. And one thing about Monk, he don't mind shooting them. But Murray don't mind shooting them either. You know what I'm saying?
Murray don't mind shooting them. This is if he's shooting them, and that's one thing. He is going to put them up. He just haven't been hitting it right now, right? So I think more faith, because I think Monk has been on a good stretch of games, especially shooting the long ball. I'm definitely going against a unit like this. I'm looking at Malik Monk more as a play, especially if he honestly put him for 15 points. Make the odds a little bit sweeter, because if he's hitting 3 threes, he's going to score 15 points.
Right here, my boy Brandon Katz is back in the chat. He said the Eagles going to bounce back against Dallas. I got Dallas this week. Brandon, Alabama. I told you that last week. Alabama was going to be playing for the national championship. So I just wanted to remind you of that, because fantasy executive talk big shit. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? So I remember everything. You know what I mean? Because you were gung-ho last week that Georgia was going to win that game. You even said that Nick Saban was washed up. And I said Nick Saban's done his best coaching job ever this year. Just wanted to let you know that. And I like the Knicks plus 7.5 tonight.
Knicks plus.
I'm actually going to add Knicks plus 7.5 to my ticket. Georgia was beat up. This guy. Yeah. Yeah, save it. Let me tell you something. Baby mother hit me up the other night, right? And she was like, yo, boy, I guess her new dude, whatever, was like, yo, he needs some picks for this weekend. And I'm like, yo, son, what do you want? So I'm thinking to myself, so I'm looking at the message and I'm like, that's cool. That's no problem, because I'm not no hater. I've done some of everything to that woman. But with that being said, but with that being said, should I get, and let's make this a poll in the chat right now. Should I give the new boo some winning picks, or should I give Son some losers? You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna fade Son, or are we gonna give him our good winners? You know what I'm saying?
Let me know, chat. Are we gonna give the new boyfriend some winners or losers, bro? Let us know.
What we doing with new boo? You know what I'm saying? We try, because I'm not no hater, son. You know what I mean? I have a beautiful 13-year-old daughter. It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? But you feel comfortable enough to ask me this, and like I said, I'm like, sure, I'm gonna give Son some winners. You know what I mean? But now I'm like, screw that. You know what I mean? So there we go, right there. Okay, so now Brandon is saying, and I forget that Alabama was lucky to beat Auburn. After the end of that game, when they put the microphone in Nick Saban's face, what did he say? We practiced that play. There you go.
There you go.
What is
right
luck?
there.
Luck is preparation plus opportunity. They was prepared for the opportunity, and luck struck. So there you go.
There we go. There we go. I think that's going to conclude.
Belly said fade him. I think I am gonna fade him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give him Eagles plus 3.5 now.
That's
Sorry, Eagles
insane.
fans.
That's insane, actually. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for tonight.
Yeah.
About to be 5:00. Do you have anything else to say before we go?
Big time college basketball tomorrow. This is what I do with big time college basketball games. If you got two ranked teams, right, and the home team is the favorite, take the road dog in the first half. Because normally what you see, especially on Saturdays, the road team, they're together, they're traveling, they're in a hotel, they go to the game, they go to campus, boom. The home team is, doing what college kids do. You know what I'm saying? So expect the home team to start slower. So, for example, Illinois and Tennessee tomorrow, Illinois will probably be an 8 point favorite. Tennessee will probably be a 7-8 point favorite. Take Illinois in the first half.
All right, then. Y'all be easy. Like the video, subscribe, man. And we going to see y'all again next week, bro. Salute.